Stroke is the second leading cause of death in the world. So forget about cancer, car accidents, or the coronavirus, and think now about your brain's blood supply. Right now, is your brain getting enough blood and oxygen? Are you sure about this? After all, there is often a microstroke condition before a stroke, when only a small part of your brain lacks oxygen and nutrients. Watch the video all the way to the end to learn how to spot an impending stroke. So, here we go. First, what is a stroke? It's a condition in which not enough blood reaches the brain through the blood vessels. For example, because of a blood clot or cholesterol plaque. Blood carries oxygen, so when there is not enough blood supply, there is oxygen starvation of the brain fragments. And it depends on which part of the brain is affected, the manifestations and consequences of the stroke. Limbs may fail, partial paralysis may occur, speech and perception may be slowed, etc. You should not let a stroke occur, because most strokes can be foreseen if you watch your body's signals carefully. How will the body warn you of a possible stroke? The first is hallucinations. Hallucinations can be visual, auditory, tactile, gustatory. Any of your senses can be deceived. But when you see something that is not, it is always suspicious and wrong. If you hallucinated something once, you can blame it on severe fatigue. But if you see hallucinations regularly and don't take any neuroleptics, the reason for the delusion may be in the brain. If there is no oxygen to the brain, the cells begin to die, giving the wrong impulses that would not be there if the neurons were normal. This is like the death agony of the cells, which you should definitely listen to. The second is tunnel vision. Tunnel syndrome has nothing to do with a stroke if it develops over a long period of time. In that case, you need to see an ophthalmologist with your problem. But if you feel in real time that you are losing your vision on the sides, this could be a manifestation of a poor blood supply to the brain. In general, any sudden changes in vision or hearing can indicate this. For example, tinnitus, the feeling that the sound was turned down and then back up again, flickers or spots in the eyes, blurred vision. Third, a sharp and severe headache. Things are very complicated with headaches. If everyone ran to the doctor for headaches, all the hospitals would be jammed with patients with minor illnesses, with muscle spasm, with pressure spikes due to weather changes, with fatigue after a day of work. But pre-stroke pain is hard to confuse with another. It is not whining and throbbing. It is sharp, strong and sudden, like a blow to the head. That's the kind of pain you really need to see a doctor about. Fourth, loss of body symmetry. All people are asymmetrical by nature. One eye is bigger than the other. One leg is shorter than the other. In general, nature clearly skipped geometry and drawing. But I'm not talking about physiological asymmetry now. I'm talking about pathological changes. A few simple tests. Stand in front of a mirror and simultaneously raise both arms out to the sides. Do they rise with the same speed? If not, there is reason to think. It's the same with your feet, with your smile, and even with your tongue hanging out. If any side of the body, face, right or left side is noticeably lagging, you need to check with a doctor. It may be the brain. After all, for the movement of limbs and in general for all the muscles is responsible for the brain. Fifth, speech impairment. If you forget words, mix them up or pronounce them incomprehensibly, the cause is probably a brain disorder. As a rule, the patient himself does not notice the change in speech. Relatives and friends start to sound the alarm, so it is worth observing your surroundings and listening to their advice and remarks. The second, more rare symptom, is a disturbance not in the reproduction of speech, but in its perception. Simply put, for some reason you stop understanding what your interlocutor is saying. There are two explanations. Either all the people around you have gone crazy, or your brain cells began to die rapidly. Don't gamble with your life and seek medical help. 6. Blood pressure spikes. One of the main causes of stroke is poor vascular health, loss of elasticity, and increased permeability of the vascular walls. And with vascular problems, in every second case, patients experience high blood pressure. In chronic hypertension, doctors recommend regular cleaning of blood vessels from cholesterol plaques and detoxification. Already, when there is a stable high blood pressure, it is worth thinking about stroke prevention. And in the case of a sudden spike in blood pressure, if previously there had been no such problems, it is necessary to be checked urgently. This can indicate a blockage of blood flow in one part of the body. And if there was a blockage once, who can guarantee that the next time there will not be a blockage in the blood vessels of the brain? 7th, loss of sensation in parts of the body. Numbness of a limb or temporary loss of sensation of any part indicates a malfunction of the peripheral nervous system. Very often, numbness is a consequence of atherosclerosis. This is a condition in which fatty deposits, cholesterol plaques, appear inside the blood vessels. And this, in turn, often becomes the cause of a stroke. So loss of sensation may indirectly speak of the risk and predisposition to stroke. 8th, loss of coordination. You don't seem to have drunk alcohol the day before, but your arms and legs don't obey you well. Loss of coordination is another symptom of an impending stroke. Here again, the same algorithm works. Because of the disruption of blood flow, one of the fragments of the brain is no longer supplied with oxygen. This leads to starvation and rapid neuronal death. Because of this, the functions for which this part of the brain is responsible are lost, and there is a partial loss of body control. Then the body adapts quite quickly. New, bypass pathways for nerve impulses are found, and the general condition normalizes. But if you notice at least one of the above symptoms, you should go to the doctor and have your cerebral vessels checked. Symptoms may appear and then disappear partially or completely. It is very important not to let it go to waste. Remember, if there was a case of partial loss of control of the body, there is a high probability of a massive stroke. Do you keep an eye on the condition of your blood vessels? Write in the comments as you protect yourself from a stroke and cope with cholesterol. If you like the issue, share it with your friends and family. Like it and subscribe to the channel. See you on new videos.